So in January, I released the 2025 predictions report, and I explained why there were very strong signals for a political death, and that these were attached to President Trump. Now, it was easy to assume at the time, back in January, that Trump was going to have a very bad year. However, with recent developments now between the Israeli U.S. coalition against Iran, there seem to be other things developing in the field. Why this is of great importance to the Archaix community will very quickly be revealed. So in 1953, the U.S. interfered in Iran's affairs and instigated a military coup against the democratically elected government of Iran. Now, this was in 1953. 36 years after that military coup, which had U.S. involvement, Ali Khamenei begins to rule as supreme religious leader of Iran. This is 1989 when he comes into power. He is the man in power today. So he succeeds the Ayatollah, and his name is Khamenei. He began to rule 36 years after the Iranian government military coup. And now in 2025, we find ourselves in the 36th year since he began to rule over Iran. This is a very interesting development because it's 72 years since the Iranian military coup involving U.S. government. 72 is a very holy number to Israel. The fact that Ali Khamenei came to power at the exact midpoint, the isometric epicentral year, so to speak, is very telling. It identifies the year 1953 as very, very similar to 2025 when it comes to Iranian affairs. So in this, the 72nd year of Iran's instigated regime, we have missile strikes. We have a lot of war talk. And as I've said in previous, discussions, I don't see an all-out war with Iran in this year. It's not in the field. I think I now know why. The news is absolutely packed with a very detail-specific phrase. It's in all the headlines. Here we see that Israel's defense minister declares that Khamenei cannot continue to exist. In another news report, this is reiterated word for word that Iran's supreme leader should not continue to exist. Not talking about a country, they're talking about a man. And another, Iran's supreme leader cannot continue to exist. And in this news item about Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, it says that Netanyahu is not ruling out assassination. In another news venue, we find that President Trump threatens to kill Iran's leader, Ali Khamenei. And another item states that Iran's leader can no longer be allowed to exist. Several items simply state, eliminate Khamenei. One intriguing piece reads that killing Iran's leader would end the Israel-Iran war. But in news items all over the world and in multiple different languages, the key phrase that has continued to be used day in and day out since this conflict began is that Iran's leader cannot continue to exist. This is very specific wording, and it is directly linked to who Ali Khamenei actually is. 10 years ago, in 2015, Ali Khamenei ranted in a political speech to his own people in Iran, and he stated matter-of-factly that Israel will not exist in 25 years. The Iranian people took this as a statement of fact. In fact, They made a special countdown clock and erected it in the city of Tehran, Iran, in a place called the Palestine Square. This clock actually counts down 25 years since Khamenei made this statement. It counts down to the year 2040. While it looks like Ali Khamenei may be right about the year 2040 due to the return of the ancient phoenix in the sky, this is an event that is so well known to Archaix, those who are Archaix educated. It does look like this is going to be a very bad year for Ali Khamenei. The 72nd year since the Iran coup and regime change. And the fact that he came to power at the exact midpoint, the epicentral year, does not bode well for him. Current events, political rhetoric, and the calendrics indicate that Ali Khamenei may indeed be about to have some real bad luck, and President Trump will certainly be involved. And that will also fulfill the 2025 predictions report on the signal ratios that we saw and I showed about Trump and a political death. But did Ali Khamenei actually know more? Why pick the date 2040? In the past 20 years, I've had 3 published books and I've done over 100 YouTube videos explaining that in May 2040, a very ancient, well-documented phenomenon is going to reoccur. It's going to affect the entire world. Is the whole world going to die? Is it the end of the world? No. This is something that's happened routinely. It's mentioned in many ancient legends and texts. And this is what I've spent 20 years educating the public on this phenomenon. It's the Phoenix phenomenon. The links to these 3 published books about the Phoenix and the playlist that has about 100 videos on Phoenix will educate you if you want to know what Ali Khamenei was really referring to when he said the year 2040. When he alluded to the year 2040 by explaining that Israel will not exist in 25 years. Ali Khamenei knew a whole lot more than he was telling us. There is an object hidden in the sky. Our predecessors studied its appearances. Like a vast clockwork apparatus, it appeared on a fixed timeline and disappeared whole civilizations. They have left us records of this invisible eye in the sky and how they hid underground from its face. They feared the return of the Phoenix.